You could just like unironically reach out and be like, hey, what's going on here?
You fell for misinfo. Congratulations, bro.
You're a 40-month subscriber and you think I'm like the grand old party.
The clip was really bad. It was so bad.
I need to do my job, okay?
I know for a fact all of you are sick to death of seeing Hassan videos talking about, you know, the collar gate situation. And for the longest time, I wasn't going to do a video on it, mostly because, as I said previously, Critical beat me to it. And even worse, my biggest competition, Dolan Darkest, aka Slop Live, also did multiple videos talking about it. So then I kind of sat back and I thought to myself, it's probably not worth even covering at this point or talking about. Now, obviously, Hassan online is quite a polarizing figure. That's why when this situation happened involving his dog, people turned into Norman Jayden from Heavy Rain, analyzing and bringing up 3D graphs and datas and pie charts on, you know, any kind of camera angle, any kind of new leak. I mean, you know that gif of Dokes from Dexter where he does the kind of eye point thing? Like, I know you are this, I just can't prove it yet. That's exactly what the community were doing regarding Hassan with this. I'm pretty sure like 50% of all Dokes gifs for that month alone was solely dedicated towards anything Hassan related. The Bay Harbor Butcher, you say? No. Dexter, you'll have to wait 5 minutes. This month, we're looking for the Bay Harbor Dog Shocker. Now, Hassan, obviously, he streams pretty much every single day, watching, you know, political clips. He'll find someone in chat that he disagrees with, and he'll single them out and get stun locked for about 5 minutes. But people were even going back onto his early Christmas streams, and he pointed out that there was this object on the table that looked like a remote for a shot collar. You can even see, once he realizes that it's within frame, he tries to, like, you know, kind of move it out. It's kind of funny how it's treated like every other streamer when they get caught with like a tin of Zins or something like that. Now, to cut a long story short, do I think he's innocent? Do I think he's guilty? I'm a commentary channel. I'm a coward. And also, I feel like it's one of those things that if you're like an avid watcher of Hassan, if you're a fan, there's a much higher chance that you're gonna like defend the guy and think that he didn't shock his dog, as opposed to people who are already gunning for Hassan. They don't like him for whatever reason, and they would obviously be more inclined to think that he was guilty. Obviously, not saying if you watch Hassan, you're a shill, and like if you don't watch Hassan, you're a hater. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I've actually seen like some discussion from both sides. Like, for example, how with Hassan, there was like a 40-month subscribed member, and he basically called out Hassan on stream, surprisingly, and Hassan just like chewed the guy out for it.
Then be better yourself. Maybe have a dog and it not be a part of your persona if you don't want to fucking question when you're evasive. You're no different than the GOP. You're a 40-month subscriber and you think I'm like the grand old party. Because I won't just sit there and be like, you guys are right. I'm actually abusive to my dog. Like, please exercise a little bit of critical thinking.
I mean, I know this sounds incredibly parasocial, but I think someone who's been a fan of you for over 40 months is definitely allowed to call you out as opposed to, you know, just a random renter online. Mostly because how pretty much all of us make our income, people that do YouTube, people that stream, it's through people watching the content, right? Supporting it, like watching the ads or then, you know, becoming a member or like paying a subscription. Now, if you're not in the Hassan community, the big consensus is he's guilty and he did shock his dog using this kind of collar. But then when he's shown the collar off stream, apparently the prongs were removed and they were covered up with tape. Now I'm going to do something very brave here, right? The ultimate fence sit. I cannot find any conclusive proof 100% that the guy shocked his dog. But that being said, with all of the evidence stacked up, it doesn't look very good for him. Now, one of the biggest points people have used to try to defend Hassan is Cutie Cinderella, since apparently she went to his house right after he supposedly shocked his dog. And she said that the prongs on the collar had actually been removed, even saying as well that the actual part of the collar that does the so-called shocking had been put over with tape. And on top of that as well, the collar had both a shock and a vibrate function. And without the prongs actually still on the device, it could only vibrate, not actually shock the dog.
I looked at the collar. The collar is taped off where I think there would be prongs. Yeah. Oh. There's no zap. There's only a vibrate function.
Yeah. Now, again, this sounds like a complete home run. You literally have one of your streamer friends come over to corroborate your story that, yes, the prongs were removed. Like, what's the issue here? The problem is, it was actually pretty quickly found out that Cutie did not come out with that information as soon as she found out, but actually a couple of days later. There were also some other streamers that came out to defend Hassan, like Sasha Grey and Denims. Like, whilst on stream, Denims actually did come out with some pretty bold claims, and these claims have now been proven to be completely false. Basically, her initial claim was because the product that Hassan bought, the collar, did not have the ability to vibrate at all. And the second claim was apparently the tape that was covering part of the collar. That tape doesn't exist at all. And the photos people have been sharing online of this collar that Hassan apparently taped over have been completely doctored.
First of all, the product can't be turned into a vibrating collar, for starters. Second, the taped photo is fucking doctored, dude. You fell for misinfo. Congratulations, bro. This image, you can clearly see the tape. The tape image is a doctored photo. I took this from the VOD directly. And when you look at the fucking artifacting on these photos, it's very obviously a fucking Photoshop job.
Now, the problem is here, you've got people that are defending Hassan from multiple sides, but their stories are contradicting. If you think what Cutie Cinderella is saying is actually true, that actually disproves what Denims was claiming. Now, Sasha Grey, the other streamer that I mentioned, she also made a claim to try and defend Hassan, basically denying the fact that there was any electrical tape on the collar, and even saying that with that kind of device, you couldn't actually take the prongs off at all. But then she also sees a clip of Cutie Cinderella talking about the collar, and yeah, the reaction, it kind of hurts a lot.
I saw someone who provided info of the collar when he showed it. He took out the contact points and put electrical tape over it. I watched the same clip. There's no tape, and you can't take those points out. You cannot cut the prongs off man, that's what I'm saying. The cope is so hard with a lot of people on this.
Like the electric prongs are taken out of it.
But here's my thing, right?
Oh, I don't want to watch any more of this.
Now, out of all the excuses I've seen people use to try and defend Hassan, the most plausible one, because the only instance I can find of it, is that this has only happened once. Now, again, I'm not saying it's okay what he did if he shocked his dog because he only did it once. That is not the argument I'm trying to make here, but more the fact that Kaya is routinely on Hassan's streams, like usually in the background for hours at a time. And if that's the case, and there's a huge backlog of Hassan's streams where Kaya is sat in the background, why has it only been up until now where the dog has been shocked? And why is there only one instance? Because believe me, I could easily imagine people sifting through probably thousands of hours at this point of Hassan's streams, just trying to find one little snippet of him doing that again to his dog. But from what I see online, no one could find anything. And again, I'm not making the point it's only happened once, so it's okay. I'm not saying that, but it's more the fact that there are no other instances of this happening. And then if you go back onto that Christmas stream that I referenced earlier, it seems, again, it's a 144p quality stream, but it seems that he still has the remote for that collar, but he's only chose to use it now. It really doesn't add up. I can't wait for someone in the comments section to pull like the most bizarre comparison there. For example, PewDiePie, he only actually said the N-word once on stream, so yeah, it's okay. And obviously you've had a lot of high profile name streamers come out to defend Hassan because again, Hassan is in LA. There is quite a lot of a LA kind of circuit there. Like any kind of streaming group, there are cliques, there are friend groups, and usually if someone gets into trouble, they will come out to try and publicly defend their friend. Like for example, Valkyrie actually went on stream and basically denied the possibility that Hassan would shock his dog, and said on top of that, if anything, the dog itself was like extremely spoiled.
Well, first of all, the clip did look horrible. The clip was really bad. It was so bad. And it's understandable why everyone was freaking out about it, but I can verify that Kaya is the most loved and spoiled and just the most well-trained and best little baby or big baby that I have ever been around and that I have ever seen.
And again, this is kind of the problem when your friends come out to defend you because, you know, the people that are on your side will think, well, this is a close friend, someone that's been on your streams before, someone that's been with your dog, Kaya, like they have insider knowledge. And then obviously people that already hate Hassan will just say, Paige Shill, you didn't put hashtag ad before that statement, by the way. Also, can you show the bank statement where Hassan sent you $500, please? Now, obviously, Hassan has been bombarded to talk about this situation, which is truly sad, insane, or cringe or whatever. He doesn't really seem to be too interested in talking about it. I mean, like I said earlier, he even had a 40-month subscriber come into his chat and tell him to basically stop being so evasive about the whole ordeal. And here, Hassan actually says he wasn't reaching for a remote to zap his dog, but instead a pack of Zins.
What were you reaching for in the clip? What do you think? That's where all my fucking Zintins are. Kaya, please just fucking go. Just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're making a baby. It's just, you're making her stressed. I just literally is so from my mom.
Now, the one thing I do know from watching like 2 Hassan streams is he's definitely not lying about being a little nicotine fiend. Mostly because if you've seen the background of some of his streams, he'll have this like, it is basically the twin towers of like stacks of zins. And to be fair as well, one of the few videos I've actually seen with him was him talking about like addiction and how he had like a drinking problem and he got arrested for, you know, some DUIs, driving under the influence. And he basically quit drinking for 99% of the part. And then he also tried to quit cigarettes, and he basically said he would go through like 3 packs of like nicotine gum pretty much every single day. And obviously I could see the bleed over there being into zins. He does have a lot of zins behind him.
I have a fuckload of bottles in my house right now. I have bottles and bottles and bottles for when guests come over. I have an incredibly addictive personality. I don't ever think about it. I don't ever want to drink it. Same with cigarettes. Thank God for nicotine gum. Holy shit. Also, I've been arrested for a DUI, and this motherfucker's still like, bro, that's not alcoholism. No disrespect. Okay. I quit cigarettes and then started a million times, just like every other person that has smoked cigarettes. So now I never smoke. I know I can't. That's why I chew nicotine gum all the time.
Does that mean he could not be telling the truth? Quite possibly. I'm just trying to cope and explain that he is actually a nicotine fiend. I mean, obviously, the big thing that everyone's wondering is if you didn't want this to be dragged on for as long as possible, why not just immediately show the collar? If the collar was shown, people could have done their little Reddit detective Q&As and then found out that, I mean, hopefully it didn't have a shock feature and the dog, Kaya, wasn't shocked. But I also think Hassan as well has this logic because he's in quite a politically charged space that he always has to kind of like, you know, be on the offensive a little bit. And like, if he has to stop himself from streaming to acknowledge something that someone brought up in chat, they could be a troll. They could be trying to, you know, derail the entire stream. Despite the fact, to be fair as well, like any third person that roasts him in chat, he'll immediately pull them up, show their chat history, and basically, you know, give them the spotlight and single them out in front of everyone. But I mean, there are some game theories here, like Game Theory 1, sponsored by MatPat. There is a chance that possibly at the time he didn't think it would have become as big of a deal as it actually ended up being. There was a lot of other people that had similar notions, like for example, Critical. You know, he did a video talking about Hassan. He had some critical points, you could say. And Hassan, he was pissed. He was so annoyed that Charlie did a video on him.
Charlie's been on a good streak lately. He genuinely cares about dogs. He talks about how much he cares about dogs and pets all the time. So do I. That's the reason why I'm fucking pissed off. Okay, I'm gonna DM him. Gross. Moron. All right, whatever.
And he also went on to say that he was annoyed that Charlie basically didn't reach out to him prior to making the video. And then he goes on this weird rant saying Critical would rather use Reddit talking points and only got off the fence apparently because the internet already rallied against Hassan.
He put a stake on this, okay? He was like, oh, enough people shit on him. It's obviously, no matter how fucking made up a narrative it is, if a clip looks bad enough, then he will go with it. All these guys fucking do is basically farm Reddit for talking points, and Reddit can so easily be botted and manipulated. And I don't think we're ever going to get ahead of that. There's just nothing we can do. He could just like unironically reach out and be like, hey, what's going on here?
And the thing is, I watched Charlie's video talking about it. It was like the most softball piece imaginable. Like there is no way that he was like actually attacking Hassan. He made some like pretty valid and decent points, but it wasn't like he was rallying his fans to go against Hassan or anything like that. I mean, the thing is, even me talking about this topic, me mentioning Hassan, I'm either going to get called like a alt-left socialist or an alt-right griftoid and then get compared to like 7 YouTubers that have a huge hate boner with Hassan. That's why you can't talk about this topic. There's no nuance to it. You either love Hassan and you're a 40-month subscriber, or you wish he was dead. And then if you go for like kind of a more down the middle take, like for example, what Critical did, both sides call you a coward. I just love it. I love discussion nowadays. You basically have to pick a grift as like your base camp because both camps will eat you alive otherwise. Now, a little bit after that, Hassan did talk more about the collar situation on stream, Collargate, basically saying that he doesn't really want to talk about it again. He doesn't want to do this whole kind of like whiteboard debunking it. And instead, he'd prefer if everyone just moved on. Even saying in a live stream, he just wants to get on with his job and get over this drama.
I don't know what else to say about this stuff. I don't know. It's just, please, like, I need to do my job. Okay. There are a lot of adults in here, and there are a lot of young people in here as well that want to hear about the news. People like to be a part of a larger movement, and very clearly this is like a big thing that all the normies have gotten on board with. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. There's not really anything I can do about it other than just keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully people will realize that there is no there's no accuracy or veracity to the claims being made.
Now, obviously, we've all saw the memes, whether it did happen or it didn't. It's basically been immortalized in YouTube drama for the foreseeable future, even making jokes about it at one point, which is usually the best way to get people to move on from something.
So there we go. I don't know what she can have.
Well, she can't have any of it.
Okay,
And I'm
really?
I'm gonna strap the zapping collar on you next.
Sure, we'll
for doing that.
And then for you, I got some black electric tape in case you run out. So, you know.
Thank you. I do. I've run out of it in my
I've seen.
in my mass cover up schemes.
Because obviously, if people bring up something over and over, they want a reaction from you. And then if you sit there and go, guys, I'm in on the joke too, Lamau, then people kind of think, oh, wait a minute, I'm not getting a reaction. This sucks. I'm just going to get put in a clip farm now. But yeah, Collargate was definitely a very bizarre situation. I still don't think there is 100% proof that he shocked his dog. I don't think anyone can say that. There is a lot of evidence pointing towards that it happened, and the fact that he was just so constantly evasive, that really doesn't help either. But you know what? Even though this drama will probably be dead in like 3 days, we got this image from it. I like that image a lot. I do.